In today's episode, we are talking about the inevitability of the rise in gold and silver now that market fear and overall fear about the inflationary scenario, the stock market crash is picking up and nobody is sure what's coming next. This is the exact scenario for a move up in precious metals, which people always return to during fear. And today to discuss that is my good friend, Mike Konnert. He is the CEO of Vizsla Silver. Vizsla Silver is our first ever sponsor here on this channel. That's Vizsla Silver. You can check them out. One of our favorite silver and gold mining stocks. We'll link their website right there down below. Make sure you hit the like button on this video. Send this out into the YouTube universe. Subscribe, bell notification. Give us a comment down below that says "Go Vizsla, go! Go Vizsla, go!" And it's good to see you, Mike.
Great to see you too, Jake. It was better when we were in person in Mexico in the sun, but this will do as well.
Yeah, Mike and I were just down. Mike brought his wife and his kids, and I brought my wife and my daughter, and we were just all down in sunny Mexico together. So it was a lot of fun, and now we're both back into our respective cold climates for the winter.
Yeah, exactly.
So quite interesting to see today. As the time of us making this, Manchin, he's one of the Democratic politicians, has basically said, he's not doing this build back better the way it is. And certainly that scared the stock market. We're also in the middle of this massive inflationary scenario, and the fear is coming back. What do you make of what's occurring right now?
From my perspective, I've been thinking about this a lot here. We've been watching silver and gold and thinking, why haven't they taken off yet? Why haven't they gone ballistic, gone to the moon? And I think it's not so much a matter of why is when here. And I think we're starting to see those early cracks in the system, the early signals here that gold and silver are poised for a very strong rise higher in 2022. So, one of the things I've been following is the gold price in the Turkish lira over the last months here, and you'll see that's just completely re-rated. It's skyrocketed against that currency crisis there, and I suspect that all of the currencies in the world that are participating in this debasement are headed into a similar direction here as well too. So I think 2022, there's a lot of signals here showing me that silver, gold, certainly copper with the recent elections in Chile, but these metals inevitably will head higher in the near future there.
So the fear in the market is what really drove gold and silver back in 2020. We had that big implosion in the market very quickly, and it was like we were going through this phase. Trump was in office. Every day he's doing press conferences saying huge market, bigger than ever, put all your money in it. And so he was doing literal commercials every single day, and the market was just going higher and higher and higher. And then you had this big crash, and all of a sudden it's like everybody knew nothing was fine, but it was going up and up and up. So nobody cared, but then it didn't. And then reality sets in. And you're kind of getting back to that same point, it feels like. And historically, gold and silver always move from fear. And I'm wondering, how do you analyze that? And where do you think this fear is warranted? Do you think we're headed towards another market crash followed by a huge influx of money printing? Where do you think it goes? And how do you think fear factors into that equation for gold and silver?
Yeah, I think we're setting up for something like this, and again, that's an inevitability as well too. There's going to be some event that happens here. That one of the strangest things that we saw recently here is we've been told repeatedly that if you were to go and get your vaccination, you'd be fully kind of protected against any of these variants. Now we see Omicron's come out and scared the market, and it's starting to kind of set up for a bit of a opportunity for fear in the market here as well too. So we weren't expecting that. We thought, okay, we'd be out of COVID by now. Everybody would be kind of moving on from this, but this variant has come out, and now the world's shutting down again before Christmas. Is that bullish for gold? I think so. but it just goes to show that there's going to be something. There's always something that you can't necessarily plan on or expect, but there's opportunities for fear in the market that can drive gold and silver higher. Now, additionally, there's other ways that gold and silver move up as well too, and you could look at supply disruptions and things like that, and that was all part of that initial COVID rally that we saw as well too, and you're starting to see that in places like Chile, where a large amount of silver, and Peru, I should say as well too, but a large amount of silver is produced as a byproduct, and these copper mines are having a harder time producing them than before, especially with the new communist governments there. So, it's an incredible time to be in these metals. I think that 2022 is going to be an excellent year for the metals.
And you're saying, so for those that don't know, Vizsla Silver, located in Mexico, I believe over 10,000 hectares, and getting poised here to hopefully start producing soon. But you're saying this benefits the overall silver market, and of course, a company like you guys in Mexico, in that due to Peru and these places Chile having these huge shutdowns repeatedly, these places have repeatedly been at the forefront of the lockdown. Due to that, in the new communist regimes, the copper mines haven't been open as much and producing as much, and because silver is a byproduct of that, you're saying, am I hearing you correctly on that?
Yeah, it disrupts the supply part of the equation for silver here. So, and the other thing too that I've been reading these articles, reading about the lithium in the Baltic there, that Rio Tinto's mine is being shut down by communities out there. And you're starting to see lots of these articles popping up about not in my backyard. Everybody wants the benefit of metal, whether it's electric cars or solar panels or decarbonization of the world. But very few places actually want to let you operate, start a mine. Mexico is one of those places where you actually can do that. And, I just, like I said, I feel like the picture is clear that it's an inevitability that these metals, the prices are going to rise in the future here. Whether it's one event that drives that or multiples. I've never seen a setup for precious metals and industrial metals, base metals, like I have right now. It's an incredible time to be in the business and be building great companies.
So when we look at the overall market, one of the things that we've talked about for a long time is the inflationary move. And we're in this bizarre perfect storm in that there's a lot of fear in the market. The stock market has had an exceptionally difficult time because I think people are starting to realize we're at a bizarre situation. But then you couple that with, you aren't seeing that type of crunch on prices. You're seeing the exact opposite on consumer prices. And you're seeing, whether it's gas, whether it's groceries, not only are you seeing the price of everything going up, but shortages from supply chain shortages and labor. How do you believe that will influence us overall? And is this going to be a new normal?
Well, of course, the inputs to produce, an ounce of silver, an ounce of gold, those costs will rise in line with that. But, where we're seeing shortages as well too is people at the mine site, building these projects, financing these projects, the universe of people that are going out and actually trying to solve the world's decarbonization metal quandary problem is very limited. And so, like I said, it is a perfect storm of shortages that I think will drive the prices, the incentive price of these metals up in order to extract them. So what that means is, it's going to be so difficult basically to put these mines into production, so difficult to find the people to basically meet the demand of the human resources demand of these mines, that the price of the metal will have to rise exponentially, I think, to incentivize people to find it, first of all, and then to extract it out of the ground. So inflationary causes, we've talked about that as well too, just the debasement of the dollar, but also just, immense money printing that's basically the world's never seen before. Historically in other iterations, it's been very bullish on the price of precious metals. But then you couple that with the systemic supply issues and the issues that it takes, the issues in order to put a mine into production. I think, like I said, it's a perfect storm. And for me, I'm very excited about the prices here.
Yeah, maybe as a trader or as just like a silver stacker, the price manipulation is certainly not a good thing. But I would think as a CEO of a big publicly traded company, in some ways, given that you're not looking 1 year down the road, you're looking at multi-decades. I would think it would be attractive in that due to the past decade of prices that were even unable to break $20, you haven't seen any funding, you haven't seen any financing of mines. And so the long-term trajectory of that makes it a more, bullish scenario for a company like yourself. Is that correct?
Absolutely. And the other thing I often say this, and it's true. That's the reason I often say it. But we're building a company and a mine here that will survive and operate in pretty much any reasonable price environment for silver. And the reason for that, of course, is we have silver, but we also have gold. And the gold that we have is high grade on its own. But the byproduct or the kind of the contribution to the cost per ounce there of all these additional metals that we have here, it's very positive for the economics of the project. From what I can see here, of course, that's prior to an economic assessment that's looking at historical and comparable deposits in Mexico. But the projects and the type of assets that we're attracted to are tier one assets, and tier one means that you could basically operate in essentially any reasonable price environment. And that's what we're after here at Panuco. And I think over time, Vizsla Silver will show that we have an entire district that is low cost, very high grade silver gold production.
Now at Vizsla, what would you say is the primary bullish factor behind? Obviously you got in and you bought this, this big project at, I forget, $13, $14, $15 silver, very cheap. You had the foresight to see where it was going to go. But what would you say are the primary bullish factors for you guys? Is it the electrification of the world? Is it the inflationary scenario? Or is it just the supply and demand, lack of investment behind silver?
All three, I would say. It's all these things. It's kind of this perfect storm, in the sense that the world's never seen this type of money printing before. Silver's having such an important role in the electrification of the world, the decarbonization of the world. All of those things are true, and all of those things are extremely bullish for Vizsla and for Panuco. But what I'm the most excited about, and the reason why I get the most excited about Vizsla out of any of the other companies that I've invested in, is that we have a true tier one district, and the stock to me it seems incredibly inexpensive, like an incredible bargain right now to buy it. We have this, and I was just there after we were together in Mexico. I went to the project and we had our Christmas party with our team of very, very accomplished, intelligent, very strong technical team that we have there. We were able to share some fun and an excellent Christmas party with the team. And what kept coming up is just how excited everybody is on the project about this district that we have to explore for the first time. So we've made two major discoveries that on their own, even just separately, the Napoleon and the Taquitos vein on their own would be the foundation of a large company, large silver company in Mexico. Combined, they're going to be the foundation of a significant resource for us. But that's less than 5% or 1/20th of the known veins that we have in the entire district. We have just barely started here.
5% of the known veins or the unknown
no, we don't know
wow.
that this is there. There could be double that in terms of veins if you look at other comparable silver fields in Mexico. So it's like for us, what's exciting here is that we basically taken a project out of the hands of local operators in Mexico, consolidated it for the first time, and now are exploring something that compares to all those major districts in Mexico. So we have something here that's so special and unlike anything else in Mexico or in the silver space to invest in. That's why I get so excited about it. And then as we're successful, we can move that into production very, very quickly and be challenging some of the largest silver producers in the world in terms of their flagship assets with what we have here. So it's very, very exciting.
So Vizsla's like one of the few silver companies since the silver squeeze, quote unquote, where silver kind of popped up to $29 or so, and then kind of backtracked to the mid 20s or so. They're one of the few companies that's actually not just up year to date, but up a lot year to date. Give us an idea of why that is and what you guys got going on.
Well, I would say that right now we're really only being valued on what the market perceives the Napoleon and Tajitos veins could be in terms of a resource. If you were to buy the stock now, I think you get partially what those veins might contain, but you get the upside for free, essentially. The upside of further exploration in the district, the upside of a quick pathway to production relative to other companies, and the fact is we're going to find more here. I'm confident about it. So this will develop into quite a significant Mexican silver district here. And that's why the stock price has moved and found its home here where we're at right now, based on what we have found. Any further discoveries and any further movements towards production, I think can cause a multiple time re-rating here on the stock. And there's a number of other catalysts that I think will become evident in the new year that could drive the share price as well too. But at the market cap we have right now compared to other more established companies like Silvercrest or Go Gold, I think it's an absolute steal.
So, there's a lot. You guys are first sponsor on the channel, and there's a lot of people that follow the channel that own Vizsla, and are happy with the success of it. But give us just an inside peek, just for those that want to know what's kind of coming down the pipeline. We still thinking we're pushing hard to get this producing. Give us I know there's many things that on air you can't say too much of, but give us an idea for those that are invested. Give us a sneak peek.
Well, for me, it's that initial Q1 resource that we're putting out in early next year, in the first quarter of next year. So that's a major catalyst for us. But further exploration and drilling in the district, I think, will unlock a huge amount of value as well. So we've had 10 drill rigs, one of the largest exploration programs in the world, actually, on our project right now. And all 10 of those rigs, up until a week ago, were focused on resource drilling. Now we're moving those rigs back, and we're going to be able to, essentially do more exploration drilling and find more projects, more veins in the project as we continue here. So that's exciting. That's very bullish for the project. And then as we, put that resource out, we can take those next steps towards production as well too. And that would include, doing studies and looking at various scenarios on how we unlock the project, how we unlock the next steps towards production. I think I've said this before, and I'd like to reiterate it as well, as I think that we could most likely surprise the market on how fast that can happen. I can't say timelines. We don't have those. We don't have the requisite studies, and of course, we're a publicly traded company, so we need to be cognizant about the rules there. But what I would say is that it's possible we may surprise the market in terms of how fast we can go into production.
I like surprises. So outside of silver,
right to the upside.
Yeah. So outside of silver, tell me, just as someone that's been in the natural resource mining mineral space for many years, what else is calling to you, speaking to you? What other commodities do you find most attractive if you exclude silver?
Well, as my full time job, of course, is the CEO of Visa Silver, but I'm also the managing partner of Inventa Capital, and Inventa Capital is our kind of mothership group here. And we've made investments in tin and nickel and copper and all those things I find very exciting, and that's all because of that limited supply, disrupted supply, or lack of exploration over the years, and then this kind of massive pull on the demand side through electrification of the world. But another theme that I find interesting as well too is the carbon credit theme. We're starting to see, some movement in that space, and Inventa Capital will have, a company that'll, I think, be very, very exciting in that space come to market relatively soon as well too. So, our focus really is to meet that supply, meet that demand that the world has here with finding new supplies of these decarbonization or electrification metals. So, silver for me is my passion. I love what we're doing here at Panuco. To me, I feel like Visa Silver still has an incredible amount of upside, and so it's my main focus. But our group has some excellent companies that we're working on, like our Tin One that'll be coming out here shortly. Surge Copper, which is our copper company. Visa Copper, which is our earlier stage Visa exploration company for copper there, and then our carbon credit company that's coming out here shortly too, Vita Carbon, will be very exciting. So, stay tuned. Follow Inventa Capital on social media to be updated on those things. But we're going to have a very exciting upcoming years here. I'm very, very excited to be in the space here.
So, let's talk a little bit about mining stock investment. So, for those investing in mining stocks, and it seems like the inflationary scenario, the amount of money printing, these types of things should be the perfect storm to be sending commodities in general higher, and mining stocks in general higher. They've kind of traded sideways. Maybe that's causing some people to get worried, or this causes some people to exit. What is your advice or your personal philosophy investing in mining stocks during this time in history, and especially right now where you would think the perfect storm scenario would be here?
Well, you know what? I think if you look back to all the previous bull markets, if you look back to from 2008 to 2011, it wasn't a straight line up. There are dips in the bull market that if it was easy, everybody would do it. So I think it's a matter of patience. It's a matter of finding good quality companies and investing in them, increasing your stake in them when they drop, aka buy the dip. This is a lot better than it has been in the past. So I'm grateful for the market that we're in right now. But I think things can change very, very rapidly, and like I said, I think it's just following the good names and adding to your positions, because at some point the whole world's going to clue in on this when the narrative shifts, and you'll be glad that you own Visa Silver. You'll be glad that you own companies like that.
Your partner, his name's Craig Perry. A lot of people don't know him from a brand perspective because he's not out. He's done an interview with me, but he doesn't go out and do interviews, and doesn't really build his brand. But Craig is, for those that don't know, an incredibly impressive resume. He was one of the founders of Next Gen Energy, one of the top uranium deposits in the world. They're on the New York Stock Exchange. Founded ISO Energy, another type of similar, up thousands and thousands of percent since their initial fundings. And Craig's, one of the more successful mining financiers. People don't know about him, but he's certainly up the vein of a Rick Rule, and a bit earlier in his career. And when it's all said and done, from a scoreboard perspective, is certainly in that in that category. So, one of the things that, I've always thought was unique about your guys' situation is to have someone like Craig involved, and for you and Craig to be able to spearhead things together. And I just wonder, from a business perspective, for those listening, what's the best advice you've gotten from Craig, and the best things you've learned from Craig that maybe someone can apply into their life, either from an investment or maybe just to help get their own business that someone might be working on to the next level? What have you really taken away from someone that's been able to be so successful?
Well, I'll do two. I'll do on the mining side, which he got, from his mentor, which is Owen Haggerty, who's, basically the kind of the Ross Beatty of Australia, or, very well known in Australia, maybe not so well known in North America. But so the mantra that they have there with EMR Capital, which is one of the world's largest, it is the world's largest mining private equity firm that they found together, is the size of the prize, chance of success, and cost of the test. So, I earlier in my career, I look at companies, look at projects and things like that, and you wouldn't necessarily think, oh, 1 million ounces, or that would be good if we can get 2 million ounces, but of gold, let's say. But what you really need to do is dig deeper. Why is that interesting? What are the comps? Who's going to buy that if that's what you're interested in? How much money can you make? What are the costs? Associated with producing 1 million ounces of gold, let's say, in this area, because not every ounce of gold is the same. Not every million ounces of gold is the same. So you have to look at the size of the prize, and immediately there, to do that, you can filter through many projects. And then, you look at the chance of success. So, how likely is it that you're going to be successfully discovering or moving this towards production? And so for us, in Venta, what we like to do is to buy projects after the initial discovery's been made, but the world hasn't clued in on the value there. So we did that with Panuco, of course, in the sense that we knew that this was a producing district. We knew that there was 100 million ounces of silver equivalent mined from it historically there. We knew that this was going to be a major district, but the world didn't really clue in on that.
So you're saying essentially that it's important to focus on companies or projects where the mineral deposits are there. You're not just buying land and then hoping that you hit the lottery on an exploration, that you guys mitigate your risk by focusing on, and that's what Craig's done through his career. Is that what I'm hearing?
Exactly. And then additionally to that, we in addition to that, we also look at how much does it cost basically to do the test to figure that out. So that's the cost of the test. So you could find something that's very remote in northern Canada, and it costs you a huge amount of money to drill it. Is that better than something that has kind of a low cost to test? So we apply that in Mexico. We drill for very cheap there. We have an excellent team that it's well compensated for what they do, but it's a relatively inexpensive place to work as opposed to other areas. So that's how we look at it kind of on our end, corporately. And then, in terms of a business strategy or a concept that personally makes a lot of sense from us, it's a sense of generosity, in terms of how we work and how we build companies. What we like to do is find really sharp people, find people that have a huge amount of skill and ambition, and then give them an opportunity to own a lot of a business that we help kind of incubate and invest in. So that's what Craig did with me with our first company, and I've always been appreciative of that, and something that we try to move forward in terms of companies that we invest in, and the businesses that we kind of incubate here at Venta.
Beautiful. So that's a Vizsla Silver, one of our favorite silver and gold mining stocks. They've come through quite well for us and our various subscribers thus far. I'm expecting personally a big a big year from Vizsla here in 2022, as we're almost getting there. So everyone comment down below, go Vizsla go. If you are a shareholder of Vizsla, comment down below, go Vizsla go. Mike, where can we find out more?
Yeah, all the social media channels, YouTube, Vizsla Silver, and then our website, VizslaSilverCorp.ca.
So we want to thank you for joining today. Make sure you hit the subscribe, bell notification, all that good stuff. Hit the like button on this video to send it out to the YouTube universe. Give us a comment down below. This is Go Vizsla Go. And be sure to check out Vizsla Silver in Canada and on the US OTC. And I'm hoping that pretty soon here we see a big uplisting to a major exchange. Fun company. It's been fun to follow the progress. So congratulations on everything, Mike. And we'll talk soon.
Thank you very much, Jake. Appreciate it.